Ever had that killer idea for a business, but then that little voice in your head pops up and says, yeah, but I can't do this all by myself? Well, what if I told you your co-founder didn't have to be a person at all? Today, we're going to break down the blueprint for a one-person startup, where your most valuable player is, you guessed it, artificial intelligence.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It's a total game changer. Forget needing to find a co-founder, hire a marketing department, or manage a team of developers. This quote just perfectly captures the massive shift that's happening right now. One person with one good idea and the right AI tools can literally be the whole shebang.
And look, this isn't some high-level abstract theory. Nope. We're about to walk through a super practical, step-by-step game plan. This is the actual roadmap that can take you from just an idea floating around in your head to a real functioning business.
Okay, so here it is, the whole journey, laid out from start to finish, from finding that initial spark all the way to actually making money. We're going to dive into each of these 8 steps one by one and show you exactly how this whole one-person startup thing works. All right, let's jump in. Step 1. You know, every single great business starts in the exact same place. And it's probably not where you think. It's not with some brilliant solution, but with the real, nagging problem. Seriously, just listen. Pay attention to what people are already complaining about. You'll see it on social media and forums. You'll hear it from your friends. Wherever you find consistent frustration, boom, there's a business opportunity. You're not trying to invent a problem. You're just finding one that already exists and really, really hurts. So, you've found that pain point. Awesome. Now what? How do you actually solve it? Well, that leads us right into step 2, brainstorming a solution. And this is where your new AI partner really starts to shine. You can literally feed the problem into a tool like ChatGPT and ask it for 100 different ways to solve it. Think of it as your own tireless, super creative brainstorming team that never needs a coffee break and comes up with angles you would have never thought of yourself. Okay, so you've got a problem and a whole bunch of potential solutions. It's really easy to get excited and just start building, right? But hold on. Before you do anything else, step 3 is all about hitting pause for a critical reality check. You have to ask maybe the most important question in business. Does anyone actually want this? Validating demand is what saves you from wasting months of your life building something that nobody will ever pay for. This is your quick and dirty market research phase. And hey, you don't need a huge budget for this. You can use free tools like Google Trends to see if people are even searching for your problem. Then, you can run simple surveys and just ask potential customers directly. Hey, would you use a tool that does this? That kind of direct feedback is absolute gold. You've confirmed it. People actually want what you're thinking of building. Now, it is time to actually build it. This is where you build your MVP, which stands for minimum viable product. Basically, it's the simplest possible version of your idea that still solves the core problem. And the key here is the explosion of no-code tools. Platforms like Bubble or Webflow let you build really powerful apps without writing a single line of code. For a solo founder, this is an absolute game changer.
So you've got a product. But a product needs a personality, right? It needs a brand so people can actually connect with it. And that brings us to step 5.
Your AI partner is back, but this time it's your personal branding agency. You can use it to generate tons of company names, create concepts for a logo, and maybe most importantly, write that compelling marketing copy that explains what you do and why it even matters. The product is built. The brand is ready to go. Now, how do you get your very first users? Forget about expensive ads. Your direct line to literally millions of potential customers is short-form video on platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. You just create simple videos showing your product in action, talk about the problem it solves, and build a community around your brand. And the best part is, it's all for free. Okay, things are happening. People are starting to use your product. Welcome to step 7. This is where the real work and honestly, the real magic begins.
Your first users are your most valuable asset, period. Their feedback is pure gold. You have to listen to what they love, what they hate, and what they wish your product could do. This creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop. You launch, you listen, and then you improve. This is exactly how a simple MVP evolves into a tool people can't imagine living without.
And finally, we've arrived at step 8, the one that turns your cool project into a legitimate, sustainable business. It is time to monetize, to get paid for all the value you're creating. This is the exact moment your one-person operation becomes a revenue-generating startup. But what's the best way to actually do that? Well, there are pretty much three main paths you can take. Subscriptions are great for predictable, recurring revenue. Services, which can be related to your product, can bring in bigger chunks of income. Or you could sell a digital or physical products. The right choice really just depends on what you've built and who you're serving. Now, let's get real for a second. A little reality check. Having a blueprint is one thing, but this quote right here is the absolute truth. An idea is basically worthless without execution. Showing up every single day, especially when it's hard. That consistency is so much more valuable than raw talent. The process works, but only if you work the process. So we've walked through the entire blueprint, from finding a problem all the way to getting paid. The tools are here, the path is clear. The only thing left is for you to take that first step. So the real question isn't whether it's possible. We know it is. The question is, what problem will you solve first?